Hello everyone, and welcome to the third tutorial in the Code Breakdown series. In this episode, I got a request yesterday on how to do blocks. There will be two more block tutorials coming out. One will be on metadatas, and one will be on different textured, on different side blocks. But I'm going to start with the simple block, so that way we can work our way up. So, excuse this up here. I was testing to make sure I got it all right. So we're going to begin. The first thing you're going to want to do, you're going to want to create a new block, just like creating a new item. You're going to do it. So this block is going to do really nothing, but you can add the functionality as opening GUIs and stuff. Ooh. So I'm going to name it block tutorial. That's going to be the class, and I'm going to give it the ID of 250. So like I said, this block is going to be extremely simple, not much to it. And then I'm going to go set unlocalized name, and then we're going to call it block tutorial. So now we got this running. Before we get too far into the block class, it's not big at all. I want you to take note that I don't register my stuff in here. I register it in my proxy class. You can do it in the load, but I prefer to do it in my proxy. But what I did add since last tutorial is this register blocks method. This is this method right here. There's nothing in it, but we will be adding some stuff. So we're going to do game registry dot register. Oh, can't spell. Dot register block is what it should be. So you can pop this up and you'll type in your block. I'm gonna do tutorial mod dot, cannot spell today. Okay, block, there we go. So I'm gonna do this, and you're gonna notice we're gonna get an error on this, or it's gonna cross this out and give you an error. This was the old way of registering blocks. Recently they added new, we have to add another string at the end. This string is an ID for the block. What I found works pretty well is this has to be an ID that no other block has, and the best way to do it is to add tutorial mod, or whatever your mod name is, underscore the block name. So I'm going to do block tutorial. I found that works really well and had no clashes so far. Where is our error? Change register block. What? Oh, did I call it a... Oh, I called it an item right here. Sorry about that. Okay, there we go. That should fix that. Okay. So now we're going to add the name for it. So, like always, cannot spell. Language registry dot add name. And then we're going to go tutorial, or whatever your mod name is. There we go. And then, as always, add what you want the name to be. I'm going to call it tutorial block. I do already have the texture in place, so you're going to see that coming up. The next thing, we'll get down into the recipes later. So what I'm going to do here is I've already created it, but there's a folder right here, tutorial.block. I like to keep all my blocks and items separate so I can find them quicker, but that's all up to you guys. I'm going to create a new class. There you go. And I have it pre-done right here. So this is all good. So let's go through this. Basically, this class is very small and simple. This is your constructor right here. And in your super, you have your item ID, which is actually block ID, but it doesn't really care. It just wants the integer. And then right here is an important piece, the material. You can do this and you can see all the stuff. There's a lot. There's liquids, grounds, ice. I don't know, but the texture I made kinda looks like electronic sort of thing, so I called it an anvil, as in like metal. But you can add custom materials, or you can use things that blocks have. This is the how hard it is for a pick to break. So I'm gonna make it a little easier, and I'm gonna make it a 6. This is like really hard stuff. Resistance is how strong it stands up against TNT blast. I want it to break easy with a pick, but I want it to be really strong against TNT, so I'm going to set that to a 15. The last thing we have over here is dot step sound. This is the sound that's played when you walk on the block. as you can see, there's quite a few sounds. Or here, let's type in sounds so you can. So there's anvil, cloth, glass. I'm gonna set anvil because that's what I have up here. But you can name it whatever you want. These two don't matter. Like, they don't run off each other. Now the next thing is what I'm guessing this tutorial was requested for. The register icons. This function is the function that gives it the texture. So what you do is you can do tutorial mod or whatever your mod name is, and then block tutorial, which is the texture. I saw someone do something really interesting. What they did is they did plus dot or this dot get, and they got the unlocalized name, I think. So I'm gonna try this time, but what this does is it gets the unlocalized name, which you set over here. Hold on, what are we getting there? Oh, okay. So now we have to import it because I put it in a separate folder. And what's the change to block portal or import it? Why didn't it? Here, let's just add a little star. I should fix that. Okay, there we go. So this should technically work. Let's test it out. I'm unsure about this get localized name because I'm not 100% certain that it will work. It won't work for metadata items as you set one unlocalized name for all of them, but I know it will work if you use this. And that's actually a really good way to use one block class for all your blocks that are similar. Oh, yeah, so this didn't work. Let's try the 2, which was another option. So yeah. While that's going, I'm going to grab this little piece of code I have over here, so I don't have to type it out. And I'm going to copy it into my add recipes. This is basically how you add recipes to Minecraft. It's kind of difficult to look at, but it's really easy once you get it. So there's three spaces or 3 characters within the first set of parentheses. I'm going to set mine to X space space. That means there needs to be an item that equals X plus 2 spaces. This will work technically on any line if it's in the first slot. This one will add, I have 3 spaces, 1, 2, 3, so that the second line will be blank, and then 1, 2, 3, the third line will be blank. If you want your items just to be thrown in the crafting table, that is a shapeless crafting recipe, and I'll have a later tutorial on that. So the next part is the X block dirt. This is how you actually craft it. So this X right here represents block.dirt, and I did this for testing reasons, so you can easily get dirt thrown in the crafting table and make sure it works. Then right here I call the block that you want to create. I wanted to create block tutorial, and then this is how many you want. You can choose any number between 1 and 64. For testing purposes, I set it normally to 64, so I have unlimited of that item, but you can set it to whatever you want. So now that this is loaded up, we won't have our crafting recipe in it, but you should be able to get it fairly easy. Here we go. So we have it in our inventory now, tutorial block. And this little texture I gave it, and so that's it. Oh, and as you can see, when I placed it down, it played. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but it placed the anvil sound when I placed it down, which is kind of nice. And that's what the material decides. But also, when I walk on it, it makes the anvil, or I guess that's the step sound as well. But so yeah, that's how it's done, guys. If you have any further questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. All the source code will be there will be a link in the description below. If you guys like gaming information and other video games, check out my friend Toxic Troublemaker. Channel will be in the description and at the end of the video. That's it for me, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and favorite the video. I will see you next time.